2 Peter chapter 1. Chapter 1. Knowledge. Please write it down on your paper. Can you look at the screen? Knowledge inspires peace. It connects to power. It inspires peace. Now, it is not possible for somebody to have peace without knowledge. If you look at the book of 2 Peter chapter 1, verse number 2. Peter chapter 1, sorry. Peter chapter 1, verse number, 2. You want to give somebody peace. You cannot give somebody peace without knowledge. He said, grace and peace be multiplied
unto you
through
the knowledge of
God. So what do you know? What do you really know? Some people want peace. Some people want prosperity, but they don't have knowledge. They fight battles that is unnecessary. I said that is unnecessary because they lack knowledge. They can't win. The battle of Ukraine with Russia is unnecessary. It is a battle that is being fought because of lack of knowledge. Now, listen, almost 10,000 Palestinians have already died in Gaza. And the Jews are bombing them thoroughly. And the Hamas, that idiotic movement, Hamas don't need to go and kill the Jews. Now they are suffering. Now, the pain that is with Palestinians can be avoided, but they didn't avoid it because of lack of knowledge. There is something somebody will do to you to cause you pain. You ignore. It's not because you're weak. Huh? I say it's not because. No, you don't need to be distracted. You need your peace. Don't forget that sometimes when you see people, they do bickering. Now, when people lose their life, they do bickering. That is their countenance fails them because they are under the torture of witchcraft. Now, when that is already marauding them, now they create a tense, senseless atmosphere around them and people. Now, looking for people they should baptize into their predicament. Into their... Now, if you don't avoid them, they will bring you into senseless restlessness that they came to church with. Or came anywhere with. So when you see them making their face like that, you say, good morning, no, and be going. No, because you know they are not fine. No, excuse me. And since they are not fine, you must not be baptized into. No. Except you want to help them. If somebody want to help, you can go and buy him 2 apples and 1 malt and say, take. I know you're not fine. Just buy 2 apples and 1 malt. I said, drink with that to know whether you will be fine. I know you didn't do it. Go and carry yourself and put inside there. For what? Did anybody get something from the knowledge? Excuse me. You know, I used to be part of predicting rapture. Getting restlessness about rapture, and then being carried away in conditions that cannot make rapture happen, and then also submerged into fear. Some of these people who are predicting when rapture will happen are under fear for nothing. They say, please don't allow me to. Don't allow, I must be in the number. Now, Now this number they're talking about is a senseless thing because they don't know how rapture will happen. So fear is always, when I was under AC, oh, Gabia Nebube, Anya Dinsoga Uya, Mogabia, Umalezeng Remanongo. So somebody who is a professional in making people to cry will say, will you miss it? Will you miss rapture when the trumpet sounds? And then 2 minutes, all of us are on the floor crying. I say, Lord, we will not miss it. Now, that's stupid. Now, that's stupidity. Now, when I know rapture, then I stop crying. Now, some people who don't know rapture, they are still what? Up till now. Now, that crying is not senselessness. And then they are maruded. They are vandalized. Their emotions are twisted. now for nothing. And now they will cry and cry and cry and clean their eyes and go and eat and no rapture has happened. And another day, that pastor will dream another dream and about and come back again and say, will you miss it? And he need our religion. Now, when you know that rapture is a call out and ecclesia, then it must involve 8 responsibility. Then those who are, and it is not, it's a calling of a people, not for everybody. Like I said before, rapture is for those who have the eyes. Don't forget, our relationship with God is not based on our holiness. It is based on God's choice first. Can I say it again? I say our relationship is based on God's choice first before what you are doing. You cannot know God until God revealed himself to you. So effort to know God by men is not acceptable to God. Am I saying something? I say effort to know God by men is not acceptable to God. What is acceptable to God is that God chooses people. Now when he chooses you, he gives you the eyes. He comes. It's not you going. I said when God loves you, he does what? He doesn't expect you to go. He has to choose you before he can come. Am I saying something? Am I saying something? And then if he has to come, he has to put a deposit that can make him come. What I say? He had to put what? That can make him come. So he comes. It doesn't. When he comes, he fellowship with you. It doesn't say, "Come to me." No. If he didn't choose you, you can't be his own through your own effort. So that is how rapture is. So those that must be righteous should have knowledge of that, so that they can have peace. I say, why there is war in the nations? Why there is war in the, listen, every spirit that maroon people, that destroy people, depends on darkness, on limitation. And can I tell you something? Can I tell you? He supports ignorance. Satan supports ignorance. Wherever he hides, wherever all the time Satan wounded people. He first of all supports ignorance and then depend on ignorance to sustain his presence. And then he will start hurting people. So wherever there is sickness, somebody is in the hospital. Can I tell you something? There is no evil that doesn't have a form of activity. That doesn't have. A woman, she's even a professor. A professor in the university. Someone just encouraged her to go and remove her womb. To go and... A woman is fine. She's nothing is happening to her. Another woman encouraged her to go and remove her womb so that... And it's not because of children. The woman advised her and said, sometimes if wombs are not removed, it can cause one sickness or the other. That if wombs are not what? It can cause one. And this woman who nothing is happening to her accepted to go and remove her womb. And then in the process of removing her womb, she met a doctor that made a mistake in the operation. And then she went to that doctor. The doctor made a mistake. She went back to that doctor to correct her. The mistake aggravated. But by the time she went to the other doctor, another doctor, that one said, go to America, and it was in America she died. This is a woman that is fine. Perfect. A lecturer, a professor. And then, until you heard the story, she's your friend, and she's dead. And this says she's our friend. That means you know her in just now. And the woman gave back to 3 medical doctors. All the people that got rich, they were processed into riches. All the people that died, they were processed into death. So isn't that a wonderful thing? For somebody to be processed in a positive side. One of the ways to be talk about being processed is stay with right people. When you want to have friends, weigh their quality. Weigh their quality. Weigh quality. If you have to pay to have encouraging friends, pay. But don't take counsel from low lives. Don't take counsel from low lives. If you're the one who is encouraging the other person, the person should acknowledge that your company is casting positive shadow before you continue. But because if two people keep going together, one must take more from the other. I said one must from. And is it not wonderful for you to find somebody you will take more from, instead of somebody you will lose more on for? The woman that died, is she not a low life that gave advice? Huh? And then she's dead. Because I said I have the eyes of immortality. When I am teaching something from immortality, you should thank God. You should thank God that eyes is the highest eyes. Some people who can't see it, they must not agree with it. Because they don't have eyes. They don't have eyes to connect to that depth. It's just like a star is far into the firmament, and somebody who is having eye problems says he can't see the star. But must you weary yourself to show somebody something he can't see? That he doesn't have eyes to see, does it mean that the star is not there? Huh? The star is there, but he doesn't have eyes to see it. eyes you have, if you say praise God, I will give you gift. The most powerful people on earth are those that have the eyes of the lion, because power is in eyes. God give you eyes to keep your life safe, and eyes should moderate your choices, your decisions. If you have eyes of lion and you're sitting where you are, you know that eyes you have and that place you're sitting is where everybody who doesn't have that eyes will come to. So why do you want to get up? You cannot get up because what you are seeing is what everybody is scampering to see, and they don't have the eyes. Somebody is seeing Jesus the Lamb, and another person have the eyes to see the returning Jesus. Are they the same human beings? This one have eyes to see a suffering Messiah, and this one have eyes to see a sovereign king. This one have eyes to see something that happened 2,000 years ago, and this one have something to see something that will happen after 2,000 years. This is a God to this other person. And then somebody say what you're saying is not right because he doesn't have eyes to what? To see. Now the Bible said two. They were in the garden. Two women were grinding things. One that have eyes left the other one there. Left one there. She left her there because she have eyes. She left her there. She left her there and went to where it is happening. When in the parable of the 10 virgins, 5 virgins have eyes. They have eyes. They say we're going to take extra oil, because eyes makes you take decision. The one the Bible called foolish, they were virgins, holy virgins, but they were holy without eyes. What am I doing with holiness that doesn't have eyes? I said, what am I doing with holiness that doesn't? No. Holiness without eyes is a misery. I said, it's what? It's ordinary misery. And are you nothing after God has given you eyes? It is not possible for God to give nothing eyes. I said, it is what? For God to give nothing. After you have gotten eyes, then you will not lack anything. Now, this is what I have done this afternoon. Develop the eyes. And then I have told you that eyes is the last, is the lion's eyes. Now, there is no eyes better. It means that everybody will come to where you are. It is a matter of time. Excuse me. Wait. When Magdalene met Jesus, she had eyes to know that Messiah. You don't teach some things. This girl knew that even though Jesus is not popular, that he will come. You don't teach her. She knows it from that eyes she has. So what is more than it? And then because she has that eyes, she went and sold everything. She went and brought her alabaster oil and broke it. And because Jesus knew that the girl sees him very well, he said, keep it. Do you, as you're looking at me, do you know people that can see you very well? Jesus knew that Magdalene has eyes to see him very well. And that see him very well is the contact. Because the eyes to see Jesus was sharp in her. Was very sharp. That is why when the apostle of apostles were afraid of the Jews, she went alone to the tomb to go and take that body. She was not encouraged. I don't know whether I'm saying something. Huh? Am I saying something? Have I blessed you by saying that? I said there is war in the nations. Why there is war in the nations is because of foolishness. Excuse me, whether he is Tinubu or Joe Biden or Putin, don't worry, or even Netanyahu, these are men on move. They will pass. They're ordinary dust. No matter what they try, no matter what they try, they will die and go away, and the earth will still develop. There is no strength in them to destroy the world, because the world cannot be destroyed from them. The Lion of Judah is bigger than ordinary president that was elected by his confused country. Nigeria is bigger than Tinubu. It's a matter of time. I say it's bigger. Nigeria is bigger than any politician. In case you don't know, God will not abandon Nigeria to Tinubu. He just managing him, waiting for the man that is right. He is managing him. I say he's managing him. That is why I want to encourage you to be patient in your life. Patience is very important. I say patience is very, very important. Patience and consistency, because God waits. The prophetic program of God is controlled by patience. There are problems time solve. That is why you must learn to wait on yourself, and then learn to wait on time, and then learn to wait on God. As long as people are less than what they are meant to be, pay attention. Pay attention. I taught so many things during the 40 days. But one of the courses that blessed me in that course was the rebut. The ideological rebut. Please. There is a difference between what you want somebody to be and what that person can be. People are not meant to be what you want them to be. They are meant to be who they are, irrespective of your desire. Now hear me. If you're angry with somebody, don't forget there are things people will not become, because they are not designed to be that. Even if you want them to be that, even if you're angry with them, they can't still be anything different. Even if you say, I want you to do this, do they have the capacity of what you want? Let me tell you something you should learn from God. I'm talking about why there is war. The lion, the type of men God wants are not yet on earth. And Jesus didn't introduce them. Do you know why the pastors are into charismatism, into witchcraft, into prophecy? All that they are interested in is laying hand on the sick. And the soul of man is in darkness. How can somebody whose soul is being ravaged by darkness be healed from outside? You cannot keep darkness in somebody's heart and be laying hand on his body. Did you hear what I said? I said you cannot keep in people's heart and be laying. No. If their body must be free from sickness, their heart must be delivered from darkness. And then how many pastors understand darkness? How can they understand? All that they want to do is to do outward blessing. Whether the blessings are working or it's not working, they don't care. I say all they want to do is to do what? To do outward. Instead of starting a process that can produce the type of people, Putin cannot be what God wants as long as he's watching the blood of Russians and they are dying and the young men are being buried in the forest of Ukraine, and the Ukrainians are dying 100,000, and he's bombing people's house. That is not how God reasons. I said, that is not how. No, that's not how God reasons. That the Jews are bombing Gaza and children are bombing hospital cannot be the way God reasons. Children who are dying, they are not Hamas. Now those things are happening because man has not become what God wants him to be. We are here. What is all night generator? So we burn generator in the morning, burn in the afternoon, burn in the night. Because Nigeria does not have men that love God. Tinubu is not God's idea of a president. You saw men that smoke in their hand, wicked them. Are they are ministers of federal capital? How? Oh, these are not human beings. All these people, they will fade. It's a matter of time. Buhari has he not gone to Daura? This man I was going to Sibanjo. I said, Sibanjo, you're already in the past. Nobody talking about you again. That's a shame. Is it all it's all about? Short time and then you're out? Because democracy is not God's way. God is a king. Men should rule in righteousness. That's why we're going to have individual kingdoms. People who are richer than a country. Who are, I would say, Lord, we are already around as priests. You get desirable kings. People that but this is it, I'm going to leave it now. This is it. If they don't have the nature, they can't offer what we need. If they don't have a nature. It's nature they lack. It's the thought that can do righteousness. I say it's a what? That can, it's the thought that can do righteousness. They lack the thought that can do righteousness. They lack the thought of sacrifice. They don't want to think like, they are not divine. All divine persons are sacrificial persons. Let me tell somebody here, there is no night in sacrifice. I don't know how you look at sacrifice, but I tell you to your face, sacrifice does not produce night. It will never tolerate shame. It is the highest power on earth. The highest power on earth and in heaven is a giving power. Let me say it again. I said the highest power on earth and in heaven is sacrificial power. I prefer sacrificial power than laying hands on people. Sacrificial power is timeless. Can I tell you something? I'm not preaching on sacrifice. Can I tell you something? If you are having high blood pressure, you're looking at me, please be sacrificial. You will have peace. Be sacrificial. Sacrificial life does not want to create impression to say God has blessed me. Whether he blessed you or not, it's not about what he's giving back. Sacrificial people are the most valuable people. That's why they are fearless. They are most. When God wants to bless a nation, he raises sacrificial people. I'm not talking about giving. I'm talking about laying down lives. Did you hear what I said? Now, when a village is doomed, the village will not produce it. How can, excuse me, since we started putting block in that fence, extending that fence to that compound, I know how Galilee will look like, and I've been very, very happy. That I'm going to bring security light at the compound of that people, these people. Security light. So that when I turn at the roundabout there, Lucas Army roundabout there, I'll start seeing light straight. And you don't know how this place will look like, or Galilee will look like in another 5 years, if I keep on giving it everything. If that man is in want, is frustrated, then he's stingy. Then he's stingy. If he's always afraid, then he's a stingy man. It is stinginess that causes fear. After certain measure of sacrifice, you will put on divine nature. I said you will put on a divine nature. If Putin or Joe Biden or Tinubu understand that that being a president is being sacrificial, Nigeria will be better. Nigeria will be better. And then the people will be better. It's not about stealing money that belongs to a country and make it your own. And let me tell you something. For some of them who are stealing the money of Nigeria and they're converting them to their own, and the poor people are suffering, they will not die in peace. That is why some of them are carrying tube in their body, carrying iron. You see, because the God of the poor must keep punishing them. Their children will turn to vagabond. As long as it is something that will make Nigeria better. Not only that, even they took it from Nigeria, they took it from Nigeria and carried it to another country. And then we are here without light. And then food is soaring. And then people are, someone said the other day, I said, and people are, a lot of Nigerians are turning into mad people because of suffering. And some few class of people are having excess. Some of these people you see, if you see the account, the amount of money in the bank for their unborn children. If you see the amount of money they have already put in the bank for children that are not up to 7 years, and an adult that is 65 years cannot eat. May God punish them until fear comes into their hearts. Their pain will increase of these wicked men. Except where I'm standing is not the altar, or except I'm not a eunuch. Except if God is not a just God. When people like us are only preachers, not preachers, but to set standard. It's not about preaching. So how can there be peace when people are evil? The war they are fighting, is it genuine? I'm asking somebody. So church, you are not answering. I say, is it a genuine fight? It is oriented in, it is established in wickedness, in selfishness, in evil. There is something I want to say to somebody here to bless you. I saw something in 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 11. And the Lord asked me to tell you about something new He will do in your life today. Something. 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 11. I am sharing on God, travail, God can't resist. There is no amount of darkness He cannot take. I say no amount. I don't know what you are facing. I don't know what you are facing. But with me on this altar is a God that solves problems. He doesn't get tired of problem, of solving problem. He has power to change situations. And I am standing for you to ask Him to change your story. And your story shall be changed. I can hear an amen. I say what he will. Oh, oh.